Hello and welcome. You're watching Beyond World is One. My name is Mohammed Saleh, and let's start with the headlines. The Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu says that Israel will keep its forces in Lebanon, Syria and the occupied Gaza Strip without any time limit. This, as the Americans are pushing the Israelis to withdraw their troops from South Lebanon.
One thing that came across very clear is there is zero support among the Gulf countries for any sort of toll or fees or anything that charges for the use of international waters.
The American Secretary of State Marco Rubio has said that there is zero support amongst Gulf nations for any sort of tolls or fee on ships passing through the vital Strait of Hormuz. And at least one business has reportedly been looted in Venezuela's La Guaira region, which was heavily damaged by a pair of powerful earthquakes that claimed at least 164 lives and left thousands of others injured. The French President Emmanuel Macron and the Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni meet for a bilateral meeting on the French Riviera. The talks mark the first Franco-Italian summit since a treaty on a strategic alliance came into force in 2021. The ongoing protest movement in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir has entered into its 17th consecutive day. More than 50,000 protesters throng Rawalkot, making it one of the largest demonstrations witnessed in the region in recent years. And an FIR has now been registered against 8 of the named accused and also several unidentified people in connection with the alleged Ram Temple donation embezzlement case in Ayodhya. This follows the recommendation that was made as part of this preliminary report filed by the SIT. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa says that his government will not tolerate any attempts to destabilize the country during the planned anti-immigrant marches next week.
Tonight, immigration advocates on edge. The court's conservative majority clearing the way for the administration to now strip hundreds of thousands of Haitian and Syrian refugees of the legal protections that have allowed them and others to live and work in the United States for years.
For many of us, this ruling is not just about policy. It is about our homes, our families, our future.
Congress created the program known as Temporary Protected Status, or TPS, in 1990 to help those fleeing armed conflict or natural disasters. Over 300,000 Haitians and over 6,000 Syrians in the U.S. are estimated currently to have TPS protection. But Homeland Security under President Trump has moved to end protections for several countries, prompting immigrant rights groups to sue, pointing to Trump's past derogatory statements about Haitian immigrants.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in, they're eating the cats.
In a divided ruling, the conservative majority today finding the courts generally barred from second-guessing DHS's decision-making and the president's statements not overtly racial. Administration officials praising the decision.
Temporary means temporary. When the condition of that country gets better, they need to go home.
Laura is joining us now. And Laura, this is not the only immigration win that the court handed the president today.
Hallie, that's right. The justices have now given the president the green light to turn away scores of migrants at the U.S.-Mexico border. Obviously, part of his larger border crackdown. We've seen asylum seekers trying to actually make those claims on foreign soil. But today, the justices agreeing with the Trump administration that they can, in fact, turn migrants away. But this case, Hallie, quite fiery. It prompted a very heated dissent from Justice Sotomayor on the liberal side, to which then Justice Alito responded, issuing his own rebuttal of sorts. Hallie, this is something you never see on the bench as opinions are handed down as this term comes to a close here in just the coming days, Hallie.
The United States is approaching its 250th anniversary. Multiple pollsters are trying to understand the pulse of the world's democracy. A new survey conducted by Gallup reveals a striking contrast in how Americans, in fact, view their nation as a democracy. According to the poll, only about 19% of the Americans believe that the founding fathers would be pleased with how the country has turned out. In contrast, 77% of the people say that the founding fathers of the United States would be very disappointed with the state of the nation today. The finding also reflects a pretty sharp shift in public sentiment over the past 2 decades. In 2001, just 42% of the Americans thought that the founders would be disappointed. That figure has now risen to 71% in 2013 and has now risen to 77% by the year 2026. On the other side, the survey also has revealed a much more optimistic side of the American story. And despite their concerns about the present, most Americans believe that the country has made some significant progress towards the ideals on which the United States was founded. Nearly 7 out of the 10 respondents say that the United States has progressed in advancing its founding principles, and 20% say that the nation has made a great deal of progress, while another 49% believe that it has made a fair amount of progress. The contrast is striking, and many see a successful historical journey, but a troubling present moment. The view that the founders would be disappointed is shared across political, racial, age and income groups, suggesting a sentiment that goes well beyond partisan divides. Two years after Kenya's Gen Z movement shook the government and forced the withdrawal of a controversial tax bill as the country remembers those who were killed during the 2024 anti-government protests, the authorities have deployed heavy security across major cities, setting the stage for another tense showdown between the protesters and the state. The protesters and also the police clashed in Nairobi. The security forces detained several protesters and fired tear gas shells to try and disperse the crowd. The government has deployed massive police force in parts of Kenya. The police have in fact sealed off key roads leading into the Kenyan capital, and today marks 2 years since the Gen Z-led anti-government demonstrations that rocked the country in 2024. Now, those protests began over the proposed tax hikes, but quickly evolved into a wider movement against rising living costs, unemployment and corruption. The demonstrations ultimately forced the President William Ruto's government to withdraw the controversial finance bill. And now thousands of young Kenyans are returning to the streets, and this time the protesters say that they are demanding for justice for more than 120 people who were killed during the original demonstrations and subsequent anniversary protests. Many say the economic hardship and inequalities that triggered the movement still remain unresolved. And one protester said that the gathering is about remembering those who paid the ultimate price.
I am a Gen Z. Today I came to remember our colleagues who died because of the protests. They were not fighting for themselves, they were fighting for all of us.
The police officers on horseback have been dispersing crowds attempting to gather in parts of the capital, while surveillance has been increased around strategic locations. Some residents say that the restrictions are already affecting daily life.
We want peaceful protests. You can see they have even locked us out. I did not go to work. I've lost quite a lot now.
The government insists that it respects the right to peaceful assembly, but says that law and order must be maintained.
Tomorrow is a normal working and school day. However, the police are in receipt of a notification by some citizens who would like to engage in public demonstrations. The government respects the constitutional rights of all Kenyans to peacefully assemble for whatever reason on any day, any time.
From a tax protest to a generational movement, Kenya's Gen Z uprising has become a powerful symbol of youth-driven political activism.
A growing wave of dissent is challenging Pakistan on multiple fronts. In Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, mass protests are underway since last 2 weeks. And at the same time in Balochistan, a court has sentenced prominent right activist Marang Baloch to life imprisonment. And for the past 11 days, more than 70,000 people have maintained a mass sit-in in Rawalkot, turning into the epicenter of a movement against Pakistani control. The protests have seen significant participation of women and children. School children as young as 10 gathered in a public square chanting slogans for freedom. Children held placards reading, and I'm quoting, "Pakistani forces out, we want basic rights." Hundreds of women marched through the streets calling for independence and accusing the Pakistani state of political and economic oppression.
फोर्सेस लगा के जो इन्हें सामने रख के हमें जो है वो डराना धमकाना चाहते हैं, हम उनसे कहना चाहते हैं.
The movement is being led by the Awami Action Committee, which has issued a 23rd June deadline for the Pakistani government to accept a 38-point charter of demands. Otherwise, organizers has vowed to organize march from Rawalakot to Muzaffarabad. Meanwhile, hundreds of kilometers away in Balochistan, a court ruling is raising question on the space for political dissent in Pakistan. Dr. Marang Baloch, one of the country's most prominent rights activists, has been sentenced to life imprisonment. Court has held her guilty for inciting a mob that killed a Pakistan army soldier during a protest in 2024. Marang Baloch has gained international recognition in recent years. She is the organizer of Baloch Yakjehti Committee, a human rights group. Marang has long campaigned against oppression of the Baloch ethnic group by the Pakistani state. Her demonstrations highlighted forced disappearances of Baloch activists. She has featured in the BBC 100 Women and Time 100 Next list. She was nominated for the 2025 Nobel Peace Prize. A legal team representing Marang Baloch has rejected the court's ruling and has vowed to challenge the decision in higher courts.
End Jew hatred! End Jew hatred! End Jew hatred!
Free Palestine, you terrorists! Free Palestine, Zion Nazi terrorists! Zion Nazi terrorists! Baby killers! Baby killers!
You are wrong. For all of you who blame Israel for everything. You know what I call you? I call you a xenophobe. Media, get that. Xenophobia.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine! I love America. I'm a TV host with Statue of Liberty for 25 years on my table, on that studio. I love America, but this is not America. This is not a coffee shop at all. This is source of hatred and should be closed for good. Close them forever. Judaism, yes! Zionism, no!
Jews have a place everywhere! Yes! If this were any other race, any other
We're celebrating today, baby. You guys are amazing. And Common Cause, right like they want.
We need to remove him. The only way we're going to remove him is getting rid of Hope. So once we get Blakeman in...
Repeat after me. This shall not stand.
This shall not stand.
This shall not stand.
This shall not stand.
Say it clear. Jewish people belong right here. Say it clear. Jewish people belong right here. Say it loud. Say it clear. Jewish people belong right here. And we're here to stand our thing on this.
Greenville Mayor P.J. Conley is setting a temporary curfew in downtown for teens under 18 this weekend. This comes after last weekend's teen takeover, which led to multiple fights involving teenagers and businesses shutting down due to concerns of disruptions. A social media post is calling for a similar gathering this weekend, prompting the curfew and increased patrols. Those under 18 cannot be in the designated area downtown between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. from Friday until Monday. Exceptions are made for teens accompanied by a parent or teens working in the area. The designated downtown area is limited to the Tar River to the north, Pitt Street to the west, Reed Street to the east, Reed Circle to the south, and the Town Common. Under this proclamation, Greenville police can also deny access to any place in the city to protect the public. Police say anyone who violates restrictions may be charged with that.
Hey, move. I need my shoes. I need my shoes. Let me get my shoes.
What's another?
She right here. Let's get her. They right here.
Horrible. Hemos visto demasiado. Y luchando para sacar a los niños con la esperanza de conseguirlo vivo. Sacamos a uno, eran los tres, pero sacamos uno que salió vivo, gracias a Dios, pero ellos no llegamos. En ellos no llegamos.
Customers are tonight coming to terms with the loss of millions of dollars worth of business equipment and priceless possessions as fire engulfed a storage facility in our city's southwest. The inferno today reigniting, causing further damage. Firefighters now warning it could burn for days.
Day 2 and it was back to square one. Fire continuing to spread from unit to unit at Storage King Moorebank.
It's a very challenging fire. It's a big building. It's about 50 metres by 60 metres. It's 4 level.
After a long night fighting the blaze, this morning the human toll of this fire became more apparent.
Devastation. There's things in there that we can't replace, like albums and photos.
Countless possessions lost and businesses now starting from scratch.
Tools, my trailer, literally everything for my business is in there.
Cass recently invested his life savings in a show bag business. His unit was right next door to the suspected source of the fire, a car with a fuel leak.
Unfortunately, just silly mistakes and silly outcomes.
Those outcomes made worse by the fact no sprinkler system had been installed in the complex. Insurance was a personal responsibility.
So I didn't think about insurance until my mum said it to me this morning. Have you got insurance?
There is a chance if this building is so badly damaged it will simply be demolished, never giving customers the chance to reclaim their possessions even if they're still intact. Those impacted vowing to carry on.
We've got what we've got left in our trucks, obviously, probably get us going for another week or two, and other than that, it's just start recouping and starting fresh.
James Wilson, 9 News.
I'm Michael Hoffman in Martin County. With more electric vehicles on the road, firefighters are having to train to fight a new type of danger, lithium-ion battery fires. Just on Friday, 6 Teslas went up in flames, shutting down 2 major highways.
Oh my gosh, that's a car carrier.
Yep. Shocking video.
Oh my gosh.
Showing what Martin County Fire Rescue says is becoming a growing trend.
It's becoming I would say more monthly, almost weekly. We've had to change how we combat these fires because it's destroying some of our gear, it's destroying our equipment.
District Chief Joshua Schell says the danger was clear Friday night. A brake pad on the trailer hauling 6 brand new Teslas caught fire, and flames quickly spread to all 6 vehicles.
The 6 Teslas were on fire. It changes the dynamics of how we fight those types of fires. We call it thermal runaway. So what happens is with EV fires is they're self-sustaining. They actually can create their own energy. So once a battery catches on fire, it just creates more energy and actually starts to create explosions. It starts to create different gases, toxic gases.
He says that's why crews had to shut down the turnpike and parts of I-95. Fire Rescue's hazmat unit brought special sensors to check for dangerous fumes.
Thermal runaway creates toxic gases. There was multiple explosions, throwing car parts all over both highways. So at that point, like I said, we let it burn out. It was the safest thing to do.
District Chief Schell says toxic fumes and thermal runaway make EV fires tough to fight. It takes a huge amount of water, and those chemicals can leak into the ground and waterways. If your electric car catches fire, here's what he recommends.
We would honestly recommend, and once it's bigger than a smaller fire and you can't handle it, is to honestly just exit the vehicle, call 911, wait for first responders, and stay out of the smoke. The biggest thing is to stay upwind of it, out of the smoke.
In Martin County, Michael Hoffman, WPTV News.
¡Marico! ¡Mi mamá, weón! ¡Mi mamá! ¡Marico! 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 Mi mamá. Chamo. Vamos. A buscarla. Chamo María, huevón. Marico María. Ya va. Por aquí ven. 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 Acompáñame.
Marely se está cayendo esta mierda. Mierda. Está temblando, hijo. Ah, qué huevona. Ya. Ya, por. Afuera que tenemos. No salgan allá. Hermano, no, afuera es más peligroso, hermano. Por allá. Señores, al puerta 4. Por allá.
Mierda, weón. Qué locura esta mierda, weón. Acabó con el edificio.
acá, subiendo el ascensor.